want to be picked up at all. There we go. Oh, it's a slimy one. Look at that. Welcome to another episode of the Jarring Science Club. Today we're going to learn about what animals need. For this activity, you're going to need a jar with some dirt and some earthworms if you can find them. If you can't find earthworms, you can potentially find ants and use them for this experiment. We will be learning about how all types of animals, whether they're humans, mammals, birds, or even worms, need the same things to survive. All right, let's get started. Here we are, and we're ready to make our worm farm. As a reminder, all living things need food, they need water, and they need a place to live, and they need air. We're going to provide all of that for our worm. So here we have our bowl of dirt with the worm in it. Can you see her? There she is wiggling around. Ooh, she's slimy. Eesh. Oh, it doesn't want to be picked up at all. There we go. Oh, it's a slimy one. Look at that. That's a big old worm. We're going to give her a nice little home. So we're just going to put our dirt in our jar and then put her in there and make sure we keep it wet and give her food. Here is our worm food. It's leaves, oatmeal, and coffee grounds. And I'm just going to mix that up and sprinkle a little bit on the top after we've done our jar. So first we're going to fill up our jar with the dirt here. Then we're going to plop our little worm in there. There you go, worm. And see what she does. She's playing dead right now, but she'll go down in a minute. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in here for her. And then sprinkle the worm food on top. Now over the next few days and weeks, we'll see what she does with the food. So what worms typically do with the food is they go up and they take it down from the soil and bring it down into the dirt, and they make channels where their bodies go, and it helps the earth because it brings nutrients into the soil, which means it helps plants, which means it helps humans. So worms are a very, very useful thing to have in your garden, earthworms, and we will just take a few weeks to see how she does in her little home and make sure she has plenty of food and water, and we'll just fill out our worksheet with the results of what our little worm girl here is doing. Here's the science. Things that are animals, whether they're birds, they're worms, they're people, they're mammals, all types of animals need the same things to live. We need food, we need water, and we need shelter. Without these three things, we can't survive. Depending on what type of animal you are, the food you eat could be different, where you live could be different, or how much water you get can be different. But if we don't have these things, we can't survive as animals. In our activity, we made a worm farm to see how worms were able to live and grow inside of a jar. As you observed your earthworms and gave them food, they could grow, but if you didn't give them food, they died. And if they ran out of water, they died. So caring for an animal means it needs food, it needs water, and it needs a place to live. These are the three things that all animals need to survive. In your worksheet, we did an activity about needs versus wants. Humans are a unique kind of animal because in addition to our needs, we also have things that we want. Things that we want could be toys or games. It could be a fancier house or a car. These are things that we want, but we don't necessarily need them to survive. We fed our worms coffee grounds, leaves, and oatmeal to help keep them alive. We also had to keep our jar watered so that our worms didn't run out of water and dry out and die. And then the jar itself is the home for the worm. We've given our worms in our jar everything they need to survive. If you take away one of those items, then your worm would die. Animals also need air to breathe. All animals, even fish and ocean creatures, breathe air. Fish breathe air through their gills, which is a system that draws oxygen out of water, whereas most land animals have lungs that draw oxygen out of the air. But both fish and animals that live on the land still need air. Over time, you can watch your earthworms live and thrive inside your jar terrarium. That's it for today. See you next time.